As teachers, it's so easy just to tear yourself down, especially during your NQT year, since that is your very first year. I like to think of it a bit like your driving test. My heart was literally thudding in my chest, constantly overthinking and not feeling like I was good enough. I'm going to be sharing a few different tips that I think can help you to manage teaching anxiety as a new teacher. We all have days where we struggle, and I think that's something that's really important to talk about. It's Miss Ross here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you didn't already know, then I am a Scottish primary teacher. Last year I actually completed my NQT, or my training year. Today I'm here with a little bit of advice, and I'm going to be sharing with you some lessons I learned the hard way during my NQT year. I'm going to be sharing a few different tips that I think can help you to manage teaching anxiety as a new teacher. If you are a teacher in training at the moment at university, or if like me you're a teacher who has recently qualified, then I'm sure you will be familiar with teacher imposter syndrome. During my NQT year, something that I really struggled with was my self-confidence, constantly overthinking and not feeling like I was good enough. I would definitely say that now I'm in my second official year of teaching, I feel a lot more confident and secure in my abilities, so that is possibly something that just comes with time and experience, so do not panic if you are feeling this way. Especially during your NQT year, since that is your very first year, I think it's very easy to feel really nervous and put a lot of pressure on yourself. I actually put a post up on my teaching Instagram where I asked lots of other teachers and students if they had ever struggled with anxiety as a teacher before, and over 90% of teachers agreed that they had felt anxious in their career at some point, so it is something that is completely normal. I also left a little comments box where I asked teachers to let me know how they managed their teacher anxiety. So I decided to film this video, and I really hope that you find it helpful. Teaching is a really demanding job and there are so many pressures that come with it, so it can be easy to feel really anxious. Hopefully this is going to be the advice that I needed during my NQT year, but I think it's really important to point out that if you are feeling these things, I think the fact that you care so much and it is worrying you like this shows that you are a very caring teacher and that you are willing to do whatever it takes to become the best possible teacher that you can. I think it's so important to talk about these things. So the first tip for helping to manage teaching anxiety is to be prepared. Something that my mum always said to me: fail to prepare and prepare to fail. I think when you are feeling stressed or anxious, it can be really easy to procrastinate. For example, if you've got an observed lesson coming up that you're really nervous about, then the best possible way to help you feel as confident as you can is to get organised and be prepared. Plan out your lesson as much as you can, make sure you're organised, practice it if you need to, so you can build up that confidence. Most teachers I know get those kind of Sunday night nerves before a week of work, and again, I just think it's really important. If you feel organised for the week ahead, then you're more likely to feel in control and less likely to be anxious about it. My next tip is a really difficult one because I think it's a lot more easier said than done, but try to believe in yourself. You are your own worst enemy, and I feel like as teachers it's so easy just to tear yourself down by focusing on the negatives. As teachers, we're constantly reflecting on our own practice, and it is a good thing to criticise yourself and look for areas to improve, but sometimes, and this is something that I definitely did as a student, it can be so easy to focus on all of the negatives instead of the positives. Teaching is one big act, you know, and sometimes you can be having the worst day ever, but you do just have to fake it till you make it. I have spoken to a lot of more experienced teachers about this, and even they say, you know, they still have days when they feel like they're winging it, they feel like they don't have a clue what they're doing. So we all experience that sometimes, and I think you just have to be able to go with the flow, believe in yourself, know that you're trying your best and you can't do any more than that. This one kind of links with being prepared, but definitely one of the things that help me the most when I'm feeling anxious: at the start of the week, make a to-do list. Now the thing about teaching is that the to-do list is usually never ending, so it's really important to be clear about what your priorities are for the week. Focus on the things that you need to get done, that you can't get through a day without, and then try and achieve a few of the extra things if you can. There's something so satisfying about going through your to-do list and ticking off the things that you've achieved, and that definitely relieves a lot of stress for me. Also, as a teacher, I just absolutely love making to-do lists and using all of my nice stationery and making it look really pretty and aesthetic, so if that's something that gives you joy, then I would definitely say to-do lists are the way forward. The next tip is something that a lot of the teachers on my Instagram recommended as a tip to manage your teaching anxiety, and that is to talk to people. Talk to other teachers, especially if you have teacher friends your own age, maybe at a kind of similar experience level to you, who will probably be going through the exact same thing that you're going through. It can be so comforting to know that other people are struggling with the same things as you. Sometimes you do just need to have a good moan in the staff room to let off stress. I don't think I would have been able to get through my NQT year without such a supportive team of staff staff that I worked with. It's the same as in the classroom. Building positive relationships are essential for success. Don't just bottle everything up and keep all of your worries inside. Speak to people, lighten the load a little bit. It's something that we teach our children, so it's something that we have to be aware of ourselves. I feel like I need to write the next one across my forehead because this is a lesson that I really need to learn, and that is try not to overthink. I feel like as teachers we tend to overcomplicate things sometimes. If you are really struggling planning a lesson, for example, sometimes you just need to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. The things that you worry most about, they're over in the blink of an eye, and then afterwards you're left feeling like, why did I spend so much of my time worrying about that? Sometimes it's good to be that passive person that goes with the flow. What will be will be. That's a mantra that I've definitely tried to adopt this year. Try not to care too much about things. Another really important message for new teachers that is something that you need to try and adopt very early on in your teaching career is to try and maintain that work-life balance. Do not burn yourself out spending hours and hours making resources for that perfect lesson. It is really important that you enjoy yourself as a teacher and that your pupils enjoy the time in your classroom, but you can't pour from an empty cup. Make sure you're spending time for yourself, especially at weekends and things like that. It's important to switch off. Definitely do not reinvent the wheel. There are so many amazing resources already made out there that you can use. I guarantee you, if you have an idea for a lesson, there will probably already be something like it out there. I remember at university on one of my placements, I spent a good few hours making a template for multiplication battleships and laminating it for my primary 7 pupils, and later on down the line I found a very similar resource available for free download online, which would have saved me so much time. I know that some teachers do enjoy making their own resources, but it is something that can be very time consuming, and I would definitely say see what is going to be effective but require less effort on your part. If you're feeling teacher anxiety about other things, maybe like making phone calls or parents' evenings, which was definitely something I was very nervous of at the very start of my teaching career, then I would definitely say that a tip that really helped me to build up my confidence is to kind of flip the situation. I'll never forget my first parents' evening. My heart was literally thudding in my chest, I was sweating, I was just so nervous. I think because I was quite a young teacher, I was really worried about their first impression of me. I think you worry that as a young teacher that parents might not have the same respect for you, especially if they're older than you are. So I wanted to make a really good first impression. I was definitely overthinking the situation a lot because the parents were all lovely, and you've got to remember that you're the one in control of the situation. They're just as nervous to speak to their child's teacher as you are. My last tip is probably the most important one, and that is to accept any mistakes you make. Accept mistakes as learning curves. I like to think of it a bit like your driving test. Once you pass your driving test, that is when the real learning happens. You learn through experience. We're all human, we make mistakes sometimes, and sometimes mistakes can be the making of you. Just as long as you turn it into a positive and focus on your next steps and try to improve next time, then that is the most important thing. Anyway, that is all of my tips for you today. Hopefully if you are a teaching student or you are an NQT, then this advice has been helpful for you and you're able to take it on board. I would love to hear about your experiences with teaching anxiety, or if you have any advice on how to manage anxiety as a teacher, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I would love to have a chat with you all. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more teaching related content. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye!